Good day, grades and learners, and everyone watching out there. I am Teacher Adencian Res, but you can call me Sir Red for short, and it's indeed an honor for me to be part of your academic journey. As we climb step higher in the ladder of your academic journey, can you give me a 2 thumbs up? Wow! It's always inspiring to see learners always on the go. Kaja! Okay, let's begin. Do you still remember our previous lesson? That's right! We tried to evaluate how the specific elements of a literary text or selection contribute to its theme. Can you tell me the 5 basic elements of a story? You're right! We have the plot, setting, character, conflict, and of course, the theme. I'm really glad you remember them all. I understand, however, that you were tasked to look into how the different elements contribute to the theme. Let's find out if you are on the right track. If you still remember, you were asked to look for a myth, and then you need to evaluate its element on how it contributed to the theme. Let's have one of the common myths entitled The Gorgon's Head. What theme have you inferred so far? That's right! The story exemplifies courage and bravery. What are the specific elements did you use to come up with the message? Alright! You may have the character and the plot. Perseus is known to be the son of Zeus. Therefore, he is expected to be brave. Another thing is, he beheaded the Gorgon Medusa that made him even courageous. As for the plot, Perseus could have opted to run away from Medusa because his life is endangered. But he courageously and bravely faced her and eventually killed her. What other things can you think of? Very good! Another theme is all about destiny because no matter how hard King Aquatius tried to avoid the prophecy, it was still Perseus, his grandson, who killed him in the end. Now, let's say the author of the story wanted to work on violence against women as a theme. Do you think the characteristic of Perseus will fit? Definitely not! The fact that he killed Medusa, a woman, does not qualify to be violence against women because the act of killing Medusa is a must and not just because of self-satisfaction. What about if we change the main character from a strong and brave man to a pathetic and chicken-headed or chicken-hearted city boy? What will happen to the team? Excellent! How can we achieve bravery and courage if being pathetic and chicken-hearted are exactly the opposite characteristics projected? Yes! We may say it's still possible, but there has no be a lot of twists in the story to unfold the theme. Now, we realize how the characters contribute to the theme. Like in the story of Gorgon's Head, the characteristics of Perseus, including all his actions and attitude, all contribute to the development of the team. If we change the team, then there will be a need to change the character's action and attitude. There may even be a need to change the setting and the plot because they are all interconnected. Did you have similar ideas? Congratulations if it's a yes. If not, I still want to congratulate you for striving really hard. Just continue with our positive attitude and you will surely achieve your goals. Again, congratulations, and here is your reward.
Victory!
I'm sure you are all familiar with that sounds. It's from the game Play with Your Cell Phone, right?
Yes!
Speaking of cell phones, are you in favor of allowing students to bring their cell phones in school? If given the chance to convince our school administration to allow students to bring their cell phones in school, how will you convince them? Sounds interesting, right? So, if I challenge you now to write your arguments to convince everyone that using cell phone in school should or should not be allowed, how do you intend to do it? It is at this point that I would like to introduce to you the concept of argumentative essay, together with its part and features. An argumentative essay is a written composition that explains your side about an issue. If you are to write a good argumentative essay, you must be able to provide acceptable reasons and evidences so that your readers will believe you. There are many ways to write an argumentative essay, but for our purpose on today's episode, let's adopt a simple one so that you will find it easy to write and your readers can easily follow. The basic structure that we will follow contains the introduction, body, and the conclusion. Kindly say it again. That's right, the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Always remember that our introduction is very important because this is where you get the attention of your readers. If from the very start they did not find your reader or your ideas interesting, then they may just choose to leave your page and look for something they can relate with.
Oh no!
Once you are sure you have their attention, then that's the time you introduce your thesis statement. The thesis statement is what you want your reader to believe. About the issue of using cell phone in school, what do you want your reader to believe becomes your. Now, you're done with the first paragraph. What will come next? Of course, the second paragraph. The second paragraph is where you begin the body of your essay. This is where you start explaining the reasons why you support your thesis. In other words, the reason why you want your readers to believe you. Remember that the number of reasons you provide will have the same number of paragraphs. If you have 5 reasons, then you must have 5 paragraphs. That means you will explain 1 reason in 1 paragraph. But sir, how do I explain my reasons? That's a good question. You can explain by giving examples, research, statistics, studies, or citing text or information from reliable sources, and don't forget to mention whom you get the information from. Otherwise, you will be charged of plagiarism. Also, please make sure that you only include details that are relevant to your topic. Do not include a veterinarian's opinion if you are talking about the latest in the world of fashion modeling. What do you think will happen if a goat takes the center stage during a fashion show? I agree with you. The audience will be totally disappointed and they might just, well, walk away. The same thing is true about your essay. You don't want your readers to be disappointed. Rather, you want to appeal to their emotions in such a way that they will be positively affected. This way, they will experience the heavenly feeling of staying with you until the end of your essay. Another technique to keep your readers is to incorporate different types of claims in your essay. A claim is something you declare to be true so that your reader will be convinced to believe. The first type of claim is the claim of fact. You can incorporate claim of fact in your argument by presenting data that are proven to be true, like ones we mentioned earlier about research, statistics, or studies. An example of this is when you are presenting an argument about COVID-19. Then, you can get information from the Department of Health or the Philippine Statistics Authority. The second type of claim is the claim of value. Sana all may value. From the very term value, you can already conclude that we are talking about whether something is good or bad. An example of this is when you say Facebook nowadays is proven to be very effective in disseminating information. Take note of the expression very effective. It implies that Facebook is good and therefore your audience must agree with you. The third type of claim is what we call claim of policy. The word policy suggests that we answers the question, what shall we do? For example, you presented data from the Department of Health showing the number of COVID-19 positive cases is increasing. Your claim of policy could be, we should stay home and follow the health tips recommended by the government. Did you see how it answers the question, what shall we do? Very good. Now, can you tell me the three different types of claims? That's right. The three different types of claims are claim of fact, claim of value, and the last one is claim of policy. Before we finally move on the last part of your essay, let us just include another strategy to stay connected with the readers. That is, to make sure you recognize significant counter-arguments. These are what other people believe that are in contrast or contrary to your argument. Was it again? That's right! Counter-arguments are the opposing views other people may have about the issue. By presenting counter-arguments, you are showing the readers that you have a wide understanding of the issue. But more than that, presenting such counter-arguments give you the opportunity to disprove them and explain why you disagree with them. By presenting facts and presenting your arguments from various point of view increases your credibility and helps you win the reader's trust. Alright, I guess you're ready for the conclusion. Are you okay? So, what is the conclusion? The conclusion is composed of one paragraph that restates your thesis and summarizes all of your arguments. Take note of the words restate and summarize. To restate means you are not supposed to copy-paste the sentences you wrote earlier. Instead, you must find another way saying them. To give you an analogy, let's say you mention in your first paragraph that you want to believe that 1 plus 2 equals 3. You can restate that in conclusion by saying you have to combine 1 and 2 to make it 3. Did you notice the difference? The second word that you have to take note about conclusion is summarize. This means you just have to restate the most important points that you already presented. Yes, you heard it right. Only the points that you already presented. Remember that you are already in the conclusion. Therefore, you are not supposed to introduce new facts or new arguments in this point. Do you remember your thesis statements in the first paragraph? What about the reason you provided in the second, third, fourth paragraph? Combine those ideas together and find another way saying them. Presto, you have your conclusion. I know that we are already experiencing some kind of information overload, but I'm confident that you are still the students who are always on the go. Can I ask again to show me 2 thumbs up? Wow! That's what students should be like. Now, let's see if we can recall the concepts that we learned so far. Can you tell me the concepts that we discussed? Very good! We discussed the 3 main parts of an essay, the 3 different parts or types of claims, and concepts of the thesis statement, attention getter, and counter argument. Wow! If Albert Einstein still lives in this day, he will surely be envious of you. Very well! I think you are ready for the performance task. Earlier, I posted a question. Are you in favor of allowing students to bring their cell phones in school? I'm about to give you an example of argumentative essay written by Luisa Chavez of California, and this is about the topic mentioned. Here is an example of argumentative essay about using cell phones in school. What you have just watched is an example of argumentative essay, and I hope you like it. Earlier, I asked whether or not the use of cell phone in schools will be better. After watching to the argumentative essay, were there any changes in your thoughts? You probably had the same idea with the author, but after reading to her essay, you may have become more convinced about your opinion. How did this happen? You're right! That's because her essay was so powerful that it was able to influence your mind. At this point, I would like to think about whether or not you agree with the proposition which says, once a child reaches 12 years old, he or she will already be in prison if he or she committed a violation of the law, like when he or she steals or gets involved in prohibited drugs. Then, list down at least 3 reasons why you agree or disagree. You don't have to explain it in detail yet. Just decide whether you agree or disagree and list down 3 reasons. You have 4 minutes to accomplish this task. Just like before, you will hear a sound like this after 2 minutes. That is to remind you that you have 2 minutes remaining. You will hear the same sound again after 3. And finally, after 4 minutes to signal that your time is up. Are you ready? Your time starts now. Alright, time's up! I believe you have decided whether you agree or disagree with lowering the age of responsibility to 12 and have at least 3 reasons. Your assignment will be find evidences to support your reasons. Please include also the different claims and counter-arguments from other people. You may do some research if you have access to the internet or conduct a simple interview to your parents or other elders in the community. As usual, we will check your answer next episode. Your next lesson will be about evaluating spoken text. And that concludes our episode for today. Once again, I'm Teacher Denzi Andres, but you can call me Sir Red for short, saying thank you and good day everyone. Goodbye!